Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. On this episode, my little bro's in town, and I've got quite a few siblings, and this brother, he's about 10 years younger than me, but there's still some younger ones out there. Anyways, he's headed out here for college. You can see I've got a pretty cool speaker with me today. I'm going to be testing out, and we're going to be listening to some tunes while we work. I thought he was going to be helping me recover this project, and I'm not sure if I'm even going to make a video on that one specifically, but it'll be in the background of this video. Because what happened was, I said, hey, you got your Ford over here, let's use that to tow this across town. And when we did, I heard something crazy. Well, apparently when he got into town a couple of days ago, he's been staying with my other brother, and he said that his four-wheel drive stopped working and that his wheel started to make a bunch of noise. You'll hear that noise in a little bit. But I told him that was funny because when I moved out to Utah the first time, the speakers in my truck never worked. But once I got out here to the dry air, then my radio, my speakers started working. So it must be something with the dry air. But we're gonna figure out what's going on with his truck. I'm a little worried there's a heat shield or something bent, but turns out it's a little bit worse than that.
Maybe we'll go like this, take a left and just right, come straight back down.
Okay.
That works for you. That and then I'll get this. All right, well, we just got back from towing this Ford 500 project I just picked up, but my brother came into town and his truck's making some weird noise. I towed with that. As we were driving across town, it was just like, and it would get louder the faster you went, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't a gear or something. He did have his transmission fluid replaced before his cross-country trip, but that looks like it's fine. I don't think that's the issue. I might put some trans slip in there, some Lucas, but I think we've got a heat shield or something rubbing. I'm gonna get under there and look, and then if I can't find anything, we'll pick it up and see if we can get those wheels spinning, but it's the front wheels that were making sound, and the four-wheel drive stopped working. Might be tricky. Okay, a couple of things, but nothing that should be making that sound. The heat shield seems fine. We're losing their water from the AC. Yeah, that's the vent. What is that? Coolant? On that? Anyways, sway bar link's busted, but I don't think there's a rock behind the heat shield or anything. There's your ABS problem right there. That's why your traction control doesn't work for sure. Yeah, I don't think there's a rock in there, but I did think it was coming from this tire, so I'm gonna pick it up first and spin it, see if it makes any noise, and we'll go from there. Can you pull that yellow jacket? Problem. Broken hub.
So first thing we were worried about is like this hub actuator isn't engaging, and there's some vacuum lines that go to that hub actuator. So we went ahead and traced all of those and then put a vacuum pump on them and tested those and tested the actuator and tested the hubs to find out that the hub on that side was bad. They're both actuated by the same actuator though, so if that was bad, you would expect both to be making that noise. And with that, we knew what we needed to order was one of those hubs. In fact, my little brother suspected that's what it was all along. He told me he thought it was probably the four-wheel drive hub, and I was like, we'll see about that. And he was right after all. Well, in the evening, I ended up working on this Ford 500. I've been working on this thing for like 3 or 4 different days, trying to figure some electrical problems out. Add another day to that list. I still didn't figure the problem out. Let's go ahead and get back to working on his truck tomorrow.
Oh yeah, here we go. All right, it's the next day. You could see I've already got some of this torn apart. And I was like, oh yeah, we'll just have to replace that little hub actuator. And I accidentally ordered the wheel bearing hub because I just ordered the hub. So then I went to pick that up and I was like, no, I need this actuator right here. with these lines. And you can see it's got some teeth in there. So does the old one. Still has its teeth. So, well, half of its teeth. Kind of looks like a flywheel where the starter engages, where one half's just like ground down. And I was like, oh, okay, well, we still have to replace that because it didn't work. But I was hoping that would be the only thing worn out, because I read from some knuckleheads online that would be the case. It's not the case. It's never the case. There's the other half of the damage. So, good thing I accidentally ordered the wheel bearing. And look at this. Comes with the wire, because I was already going to fix the ABS sensor. No, that's not on the brake entirely, if you're asking. It's on the ball joint down there. And this little lip. And well, by removing this and this, I was able to get it out of the way just enough to remove both of these at the same time. You can't remove one or the other. Pull them out as a pair, slide the new one on here, and then stick them back. You could maybe do it without removing this the same way. It's pretty tight. But here's the other issue. Like, bro, you're lucky you didn't lose your dang tire on the way here. That's how you get those ball joints that. So I told him that's when you see those trucks on the side of the road with their tire folded underneath the truck. That's why. So, so of course it's not serviceable. And of course Ford put the bolts inside there. So now it's just gonna be a little bit extra of a headache to replace, but it's not like we're gonna have to remove this strut, I don't think. And if we have to, everything's else already halfway disassembled either way. Let's do it. Let's get in there and get this. I was just gonna splice and stuff, but look at the damage on it. Way better just get a new one. But I was like, at this point, I was gonna save my little bro 20 bucks if I could just fix that wire. Oh, and we also are gonna replace the vacuum lines. Not because that was the issue, but because when we were just moving stuff around to test it, they were breaking, so. But they did hold vacuum and it was the actuator, so pretty much rebuilding the front end unexpectedly. And of course we're listening to our tunes on this job. I love working with music. I guess most people do, but I don't get to listen to music all the time when I'm filming. So I try and make sure that when I can, I do get to listen to music, especially when I'm working with my brother.
Not only is the speaker fantastically designed, this packaging is awesome as well. I love it when the package is actually useful, like this case.
So this speaker here that you saw earlier is made by Muzen. This thing is sturdy. This thing's aluminum. It feels heavy. Everything about it's just super well designed. Almost has like a fidget spinner aspect built in the volume thing. You can just spin it forever. Got a built-in flashlight. I'm telling you, this thing's sturdy. You charge it right here. This little flap's waterproof. Got a gasket underneath it. Everything clicks together. Is the right measurements, designed perfectly, and it sounds great too. So this thing's pretty loud. It sounds great. If you want one of these, make sure you check out the link in the description for an extra special discount. Let's get this thing fixed.
Yeah. Forget what I said about not having to remove that strut. We had to take it out after all to get those bolts out. It's just such a weird design, Ford. Why? I mean, I know there's nuts on the outside, but why not just weld some nuts on the inside and you just run the bolts through, you know what I mean? Well, not just that, we had to do the sway bar link. I didn't even talk about that, but we did order one. And it's so nice having my brother here to help. I mean, it's his truck, but I'm like, hey, pick that jack up, let that jack down. And obviously we're just joking around and having fun, but this thing was so much easier to do with two people. Every time I've worked on one of these big trucks this year, man, it's been 4 or 5 things on top of just the one little thing. And you can see Mac out here. He loves the speaker too. That's keeping us entertained. And obviously he loves Uncle Pizza and messing with Uncle Pizza and me while we work. So Mac, I'm sure will be out here fixing cars with me for the rest of my career. And Uncle Pizza, not so much. Let's go ahead and see if we can just get him a little bit dirty under here and see if he can get his truck fixed back on the road. Well, there you go. Uncle Pizza's under there finishing up the rest of these vacuum lines. He actually tried to put them on backwards the first time, so we had to take them back out and twist them around. I might have told him he was doing it right either way, but I didn't really double check. I just assumed he knew what he was doing. Anyways, I've got everything zip tied together. It's not going to rub or break any wires anymore. It's all connected good. This thing should run great. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm half expecting it to go. But of course, that's not the case. You know your boys do good work, and my brother can drive off onto a different state headed to college, knowing his truck's in good shape for this winter.
All right, well, that's gonna be it for the end of this video. If you liked it, make sure you're subscribed. Everything went well, other than the fact that I thought we were just gonna be doing one thing, and we ended up rebuilding that whole front end for my brother. But like he said, like I said, much rather it would have been me helping him out, because he probably saved a ton of money, and he wouldn't have had to call a tow truck on the side of the road when that ball joint failed anyway. So a lot of headache, a lot of time, a lot of trouble, and money. We saved them all. That's what you do for your little bros. If you do the same, make sure you're subscribed. Leave me a positive comment down below. I'll try and interact with some of the positive ones. Obviously, this job was pretty fun and entertaining, not just because that speaker sounded good, but because my brother was here and we got to joke around and laugh the whole time. I'm sure you saw us messing around as we worked, but we did everything carefully, got everything put back together perfect, and it's great to have some fun. We didn't miss anything up. If you want to help out, you can donate, links in the description, or just subscribe. I'll see you on the next episode. That's a job well done. Keep those cars running.